Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya De Satarine. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpataru vesha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripa tamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Shri Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So I sincerely welcome all of you to our Srimad Bhagavatam class. There is some sound somewhere. So we were discussing last class how Chitraketu Maharaj, he responded such positively to such an intense negative situation in his life. There can be no greater intense negative situation than that what Chitraketu Maharaj faced. He was completely on top of the world, the in charge of Vidyadhara Loka, and in the next moment he is just a demon, cursed to be a demon. Sometimes when we lose a job, it becomes so difficult for us to even continue to practice Krishna consciousness. How can Krishna do like this to me? I chanted, I practiced, and so much, I did so much for Krishna, and how can Krishna do like this to me? And here we see that he didn't just lose Vidyadhara Loka. Imagine he would have lost the planet of Vidyadhara Loka, come to earthly planet. That would have been a different situation. He became a demon. And it's not that maybe Mother Parvati's curse will be effective. There is some possibility, not possibility. It's not. There is nothing called maybe if Mother Parvati curses you. It's going to be a reality. And Chitraketu knows it. That there is nothing in this world which can stop ensuring the curse to become effective in his life. He was convinced that the curse is going to make its effect. But we find Chitraketu Maharaj completely surrendering to Lord's will and accepting the curse wholeheartedly. So when Chitraketu Maharaj falls at the feet of Mother Parvati, addressing her as mother, and then leaves the scene. Then Lord Shiva, in order to advise his good wife, speaks in a different way. We can learn from Lord Shiva how Lord Shiva is so sensitive in speaking to Mother Parvati. Lord Shiva is not certifying the actions of Mother Parvati. He's not giving the certificate to the actions of Mother Parvati. But how sensitively Lord Shiva explains to Mother Parvati the principles of true spirituality. Sometimes we can speak the best of the things, in the worst of the manners. Like even Chitraketu Maharaj, he spoke the best of the things, but in such manners, somehow Parvati Devi got agitated, though there was no reason to get agitated. So even if we have most best of the intentions in our heart to help a person genuinely, even if we are telling the truth, even if we have the best of the relationship, but my Gurudev used to always tell that never assume that you have the best relationship with that person and you can speak in a way that he will not mind. No matter whatever, however thick and intense and intimate our relationship should be, there can be no intense, intimate relationship between a husband and wife like Parvati and Lord Shiva. But we see here Lord Shiva, though he is not happy with what Parvati did, how sensitively Lord Shiva is advising Mother Parvati and trying to educate her of the principles. So this is the first lesson that we are going to learn today. That even if we have the rightmost, best of the intentions, even if we are telling the best things and the most realistic things, and even if we have the most intimate, intense relationship with the person, we must follow in the footsteps of Lord Shiva in trying to be sensitive, in educating others. Lord Shiva had such intense, intimate relationship with Parvati, but he spoke in a manner to educate her so that she doesn't feel hurt. That's a very important aspect of our life. So we will take the first verse, which is spoken by Lord Shiva. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Rudra Uvacha.
Shri Rudra Uvacha.
Yes, anyone else? From inside also. Shri Rudra Uvacha.
Shri Rudra Uvacha.
Drishtavatyasi Shusroni.
Drishtavatyasi Shushroni.
Hareradbhuta Karmana.
Hareradbhuta Karmana.
Mahatmyam Bhrita Bhrityana. Nisprihana Mahatmana.
Nihisprana Mahatmana.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Lord Shiva said, "My dear beautiful Parvati, have you seen the greatness of the Vaishnavas? Being servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari, they are great souls and are not interested in any kind of material happiness." Purport. Lord Shiva, the husband of Parvati, told his wife, "My dear Parvati, you are very beautiful in your bodily features. Certainly you are glorious, but I do not think that you can compete the beauty and glory of devotees who have become servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead." Of course, Lord Shiva smiled when he joked with his wife in that way, for others cannot speak like that. The Supreme Lord, Shiva continued, is always exalted in his activities, and here is another example of his wonderful influence upon King Chitraketu, his devotee. Just see, although you cursed the king, he was not at all afraid or sorry. Rather, he offered respect to you, called you mother, and accepted your curse, thinking himself faulty. He didn't say anything in retaliation. This is the excellence of a devotee. By mildly tolerating your curse, he has certainly excelled the glory of your beauty and your power to curse him. I can impartially judge that this devotee Chitraketu has defeated you and your excellence simply by becoming a pure devotee of the Lord. As stated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Tarorapi Sahishnuna. Just like a tree, a devotee can tolerate all kinds of curses and reversals in life. This is the excellence of a devotee. Indirectly, Lord Shiva forbade Parvati to commit the mistake of cursing a devotee like Chitraketu. He indicated that although she was powerful, the king, without showing any power, had excelled her power by his tolerance. Thus ends the purport. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Such amazing. Lord Shiva is glorifying Chitraketu and comparing and showing to all of us what is truly beautiful. Who is actually truly beautiful? No one can compare with the beauty of Parvati Devi. All of you have never seen Parvati Devi. Sometimes in the pictures that are drawn by these materialistic people, that's how we have seen Parvati Devi. That's our only experience of Parvati. See, and then we have this type of these type of events like Miss Universe event, and in that some materialistic person, a lady, some materialistic person choose another materialistic lady who is like completely horrible body, a Miss Universe. But actually, Parvati Devi is actually Miss Universe. There is no one more beautiful than Mother Parvati and Lakshmi. No lady should ever feel any pride in her heart that I am beautiful. Mother Parvati is the most beautiful lady. And we see Lord Shiva is telling her that Parvati, this Chitraketu is beautiful than you. So we will, for some time now, for 10 minutes, we will try to analyze what is actually truly beautiful. You see, beauty attracts beauty. A beautiful person is attracted to another beautiful person. Or a person who understands what is beauty will be attracted to beauty, right? A person who doesn't understand what is beauty will have no understanding about what is beauty and all those things. Everything is looking same. And we see in Radhika Astakam, just to give an example, there is a verse which glorifies Srimati Radharani. Biswabandhyayo vatabhi bandita piyarama rupanavya yauvanadi sampadana yatsama. Viswabandhya yovatabhi banditapi yarama. Srimati Radharani is glorified and worshipped by Yuvatis, the most beautiful ladies of this entire universe. Rupa Navya, her beauty is completely always new. Sometimes you see some beautiful person, next time you see, I think I should see someone else. And, Rupa Navya, every time the beauty of Srimati Radharani is new and new. Banditapi ya Rama. Even Rama, even Mother Lakshmi, and all the ladies of this universe, the most beautiful ladies, Parvati and Saraswati, Gayatri, everyone simply worships the beauty of Srimati Radharani. So a person who is beautiful, he understands who is more beautiful. And he gets attracted to that beauty. All these ladies, Kaviraj Goswami writes in this song, are attracted to the beauty of Srimati Radharani. And they worship Srimati Radharani. Now, if a beautiful person is getting attracted to another person, that shows that that person is more beautiful than this person, yes? If A, who is beautiful, is getting attracted to B, who is also beautiful, this proves that B is more beautiful than A. This is some mathematical analysis of beauty. Yes. Now, consider it in this way. Let's apply this formula to Krishna. The formula is, if A is attracted to B, and A is beautiful and B is beautiful, B is more beautiful than A. Otherwise, why A will get attracted to B? Now Krishna, he is the source of all beauty. When Krishna did, the ladies of the universe, even Srimati Radharani, and all the ladies, Lakshmi and everyone can be proud of their beauty. But when Krishna became a lady, as Mohini, the name itself is Mohini. And when I don't know what to speak now. He or she, the gender is so confusing. When he became Mohini or she became Mohini or whatever it is, when Krishna became Mohini, it was like even Lord Shiva wanted to take darshan of Mohini. And we elaborately explained in our last yatra what happened to Lord Shiva. So Krishna is the source of all beauty. He's the source of all creation of everything. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna asks, "Oh Krishna, tell me about yourself." And then Krishna says, "Yad yad vibhuti mat sattvam shrimadurjitam eva tat tat eva gachatvam mama teja amsa sambhava." Oh Arjuna, you are asking me this question that tell me that I should tell about myself. Whatever you are seeing, oh Arjuna, which is attractive, which is beautiful, is just a spark of my splendor. Just a spark. Miss Universe is an insignificant spark of the beauty of Krishna. The beauty of Parvati Devi is just a spark of Krishna's beauty. And that beautiful Krishna, who is like A, if he is getting attracted to another person, then that person is more beautiful than the source of all beauty. Yes? And we see how Krishna is attracted to his pure devotees. So much so that Krishna is ready to become servant of the servant of the servant of his pure devotees. Recently, on this Thursday, myself and Hari Prasad Prabhu were having a discussion. And Hari Prasad Prabhu was telling about Ras Khan. I said, I know Ras Khan. He's a very special devotee of Krishna. He stayed in Sri Vrindavan Dham, Islamic Sufi saint, but he wrote so many songs about Krishna. In one of the verse written by Ras Khan, he says that Sesa Ganesha, all these great personalities like Ananta says, like Ganesh, like Mahesh, like Dinesh. Dinesh is Suryadev, and Suresh, who is Indra. Sesa, Ganesha, Mahesha, Dinesha, Suresha. All these people, they are simply researching, who is the Supreme, who is the Supreme, who is the Supreme. And they are studying the Vedas, and from Vedas they are telling that Supreme is Acheda, Abheda. He is the indiscrimination, he is the Brahman, he is the Supreme Brahman, he is the source of everything. And they are telling that the Supreme cannot be described by material words. Sesa is glorifying the Supreme for millions of lifetimes, but the glories of Supreme are not getting over. And Ras Khan says that all these great personalities are not right to, some are able to understand, some are not able to understand, some are glorifying, the glories are not getting completed. And that Supreme Lord is begging in Sri Vrindavan Dham for some chach from the gopis, and is ready to even dance for the entire day to get 100 milliliter of chach. This is what Kushal Bihari has put, Prabhu has put. Sesa, Mahesa, Ganesha, Dinesha, Suresa, Jahi, Nirantara Gave. That person who is sung by all the devotees, That person whom the Vedas say that Acheda, Abheda, he cannot be understood, he is not describable. And that person whom Narada and all great devotees want to serve and dedicate their entire life, that same person is dancing just to get some little charge from the gopis. Who is more beautiful? So the devotees of the Lord, they are actually more beautiful than any one of this world, because they conquer the source of all beauty, Sri Krishna, and make Sri Krishna as their servants, purchased property. And Lord Shiva, he is telling that, oh Parvati, actually Chitraketu is more beautiful. So real beauty is not in externals. Real beauty is in our internal disposition of our heart. No matter how much ever we try to do makeup and try to put all this, whatever the ladies put, they only become more ugly. If their heart is not filled with devotion, pure devotion to the Lord. We see Shrupanekha, actually Shrupanekha is the Acharya of makeup. Yes? Shrupanekha actually is the founder Acharya of the cosmetic industry, the makeup industry. The entire cosmetic industry is based on making, I'll not say the ladies are Supanekha, but making the ladies beautiful. And Supanekha, I don't know which parlor he would have gone, and there are so many parlors, and she actually joined a parlor and made her completely beautiful. All the ladies, what makeup you do is nothing in comparison to what makeup Shrupanekha did. And what makeup Putana did. Putana did such a makeup that the Brajavasis, the simple ladies, they were telling, oh, I think Mother Lakshmi has come, Mother Lakshmi has come. Mother Lakshmi has come to take darshan of our Lala. We are so fortunate. Vrindavan is so fortunate that Lakshmi has come. And Putana also, along with her makeup, was twirling a lotus flower. She's so nice. Putana was like this doing and looking like this and looking like this with all the feminine, bashful gestures. And all the Brajavasis, they were just, the ladies were, hi, oh, wow, so beautiful. This is what Putana did. But in her heart, there was poison. And that poison manifested in her breast actually to kill Krishna. Shrupanekha made herself completely beautiful, but her heart was poisonous with lust and envy for Mother Sita. So the cosmetic industry is bent upon making us beautiful externally, but spirituality makes us beautiful internally. I am not against cosmetic industry. Even the Brajavasis ladies, the Brajabadhus, the gopis had their own cosmetics. They had mascara, they had kajal, they had the minerals, and they had the bleach cream. Everything in Vrindavan. They had talcum powder. See, if something is not in Vrindavan, it cannot be in material world. Shringar is in Vrindavan, so Shringar is in material world. And in Vrindavan, there is Shringar Bhat, where Srimati Radharani used to be dressed for going to Seva Kunj, for dancing with Krishna. So, but if we think that the be all and end all of decorating ourselves is by putting some cream, then we'll be no better than Srupanekha and Putana. Chitraketu didn't put any cream, any cosmetics. But Lord Shiva, who is Sambhu, who is expansion of Supreme Lord, who is Mahadev, he considered Chitraketu as more beautiful than Parvati, the most beautiful lady of the universe. So Krishna consciousness is the process of internalizing our beauty, our heart, making our heart beautiful. So Lord Shiva, after telling Parvati like this, he tells that what made Chitraketu more beautiful than you. The next verse is actually the best and most amazing verse of the entire 6th canto, rather the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. And I pray to all of you, request that you all please remember this verse. Lord Shiva's parameter of considering Chitraketu beautiful than Mother Parvati. Hare Krishna. So we will chant this verse. This is 6th canto, 17th chapter, 28th verse. नारायण परा सर्वे
नारायण परा सर्वे
नाकुतश्चन बिभ्यति
नाकुतश्चन बिभ्यति
स्वर्गापवर्ग नरकेषु
स्वर्गापवर्गा नरकेषु
अपि तुल्यार्थदर्शिना.
तुल्यार्थदर्शिनः.
Anyone else? नारायण परा सर्वे नाकुतश्चन बिभ्यति स्वर्गापवर्ग नरकेषु अपि तुल्यार्थदर्शिनः. Anyone else? नारायण परा सर्वे नाकुतश्चन बिभ्यति स्वर्गापवर्ग नरकेषु अपि तुल्यार्थदर्शिनः. Yes, Vijay Prabhu is really desperate to sing this verse. Yes, Vijay Prabhu. Narayana para sarve nakutaschana bibhyati swargapavarga narakeshwa
स्वर्गापवर्गनरकेश्वर
apitulyarthadarshinaha.
अपितुल्यार्थदर्शिनः.
Translation. Devotees solely engaged in devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan, never fear any condition of life. For them, the heavenly planets, liberation, and the hellish planets are all same. For such devotees are interested only in the service of the Lord. Hare Krishna. Narayana para sarve na kutas chana bibhyati swarga apavarga narakeshu apitulyartha darshana. Lord Shiva is telling to Parvati that what makes Chitraketu more beautiful than you is that Chitraketu considers every situation as orchestrated by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When Chitraketu was telling you, my dear wife, was telling me, my dear wife, he was telling me certain things in a joking way. And I considered it as the orchestration of the Supreme Lord. But you got agitated, not understanding that this is divine intervention of the Supreme Lord. So, in all situations, the devotees of the Lord are never agitated and fearful. Definitely, Mother Parvati cursing Chitraketu is also an intervention of the Supreme Lord. But just to give lessons to conditioned souls like us, Lord Shiva is telling that what makes Chitraketu beautiful is his attitude. That whatever situation Lord puts me, it is best for me. Whether it is hellish of all suffering, whether it is heavenly enjoyment, it is Jahe Vidhi Rakhe Ram, Tahe Vidhi Rahiye. Whatever situation Lord puts me in, this is the best thing for my life. Anyone who is a Narayan Para, who is surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is in this mood of understanding that the Lord is my supreme well-wisher, and if He has sanctioned something in my life, this is for my best. There is nothing more greater and glorious that can happen in my life than this, what I am going through. This is the best and most perfect situation in my life. If the Lord puts me in hell, it is the most perfect situation. If the Lord puts me in heaven, it's the most perfect situation. If the Lord makes me diseased, it's the most perfect situation for me. If the Lord makes me healthy, it's the most perfect situation. If the Lord makes me financially bankrupt, it's the most perfect situation for me. This attitude actually conquers the Lord. Like my father and mother, just to give an example of how things happen in this world, so that we can correlate. I don't know whether it happens with all of you as grihasthas, but it happened. My father and mother. If you ask my mother, I used to ask my mother, what's so special about your father? whatever I cook, he never tells anything. He just comes and eats, and with a lot of happiness he eats and never complains of whatever is cooked. No complaint. And I said to my mother that I can't be like this. The cooking has to be perfect. It has to be of that intensity and that perfection, and then I can't eat anything and everything. I'm not a cow. And maybe that's why I'm like this. Otherwise, I don't know what would have happened in family if every day if I comment on the food that is made, and it's going to be a hellish situation. But my mother was appreciative so much of my father because जो भी बनाया खा लेते हैं. Whatever, if the salt is more, then add some water and add the dal in the chokha and just make it, and so that reduce the intensity of salt, eat it. And if the salt is less, put some salt, and whatever is made. And I have personally seen it. The only person in the entire home who would say to mother that this is not proper, this is not made like this, is Sri Nitai Das. No one else. My sisters would not tell that, otherwise they have to cook. My mother may say that, okay, you are giving so much comments, you cook. And my father never commented. What? Sab acha hai. And then my mother will take, and then my mother will realize that, my goodness, it has so much of salt. And my father will eat everything and go to school. My father was a teacher. And this conquered my mother. This attitude, Jahe vidhi, rakhe aap, wahi vidhi rahiye. This attitude of whatever you feed me, oh my dear wife, what can be done? Now there is nothing remaining. You are my only shelter. For me, I had a lot of choices. I could cook myself, and that's why I used to cook in the evening. Every day in the dinner, I used to cook special sabjis, because somehow or other, I don't like anything else. I really love myself cooking and eating. So I used to cook. But my mother used to cook nicely, but no one in the home other than me used to comment. And that's why my mother used to always say that no one can satisfy you. And I grew up with that understanding. And someone asked me that, why did you choose Swamiji to become like this? I said, I didn't want it to spoil the life of a girl. Otherwise, he would have died. My expectation of perfection is so much. Then the girl would have led a very hellish life. Mother was herself so much frustrated with my expectation of perfection about the pakodas and the size of the pakodas and how the pakodas have to be made, and it has to be perfect. The size of the bada, the size and the taste of the kheer, the color of the kheer, everything. From the color, from the texture, from the sweetness, from the fragrance, everything has to be perfect. And then one word of appreciation will come from my mouth, which is like the choicest poetry for my mother, that yes, it is nice today. But my father was not like that. Maybe he didn't have any choice, but he was not like that. And that's what pleased my mother. And you ask my father what is best part of my mother? He will tell, your mother is completely satisfied with the simplest of the sari which I gave. Your mother never complained of a silk sari. My mother never had a uh, locket or chain. She had no necklace, no gold necklace, because some financial situation happened. Even the Mangal Sutra had to be given in mortgage. And my father never gave back anything. When I was in ninth class or like that, I am the third child. I went to ninth class and my mother was in 45 or like that. Then my father purchased a necklace for my mother. And my father was completely purchased by the attitude of my mother that she does not have any demands. चाहे विधि राखे हम वही विधि रहिए. And it's not that my mother was not beautiful. My mother was really beautiful. Don't judge my mother seeing me. That's why my sisters used to tell that I am not the son of my mother, because I have been recovered from the drains of Puri. That's what and because I was lying on the drain gutter and I have become so black. That's what my sister used to tell, and they used to compare my mother and myself and say hell and heaven difference. My mother was really beautiful and standard health, not too fat and not too thin, and very, very beautiful and extremely intelligent in trying to make the family come together. So my mother was like that. But she considered the success of her life is to just live in a situation, whatever situation her husband gave. The sign, the signal, the way we express our love to our beloved is to accept whatever they are giving gratefully and graciously. Like I remember in my last birthday, I got a small drawing by Prisha, and there was Prisha and Parul Mataji and Sumit Prabhu and Sri Nitai Das. And I think I don't know whether it was on my birthday or when I had gone to stay in their house when the water had got accumulated in Gosala. And she was drawing with great intensity, with really, really very great intensity. And okay, Prabhu ji ke liye kuch banana hai. And I was looking so horrible in that. I'm already horrible, and really, I was standing in at a distance, and Sumit Prabhu, Parul Mataji, and Prisha were together, and I was little at distance, and looking really horrible, and all three of them were looking horrible. All four of us were in the picture looking really horrible according to material standards of graphics and designing and beauty. But it's not about the external thing. A father may gift some caricatures like this, may get a gift from the daughter, but if that daughter offers it with so much of love, the father gets purchased by that small gift. Yes. Because the father knows that this external situation is just an external situation. Internally, there is a lot of emotion, of a feeling of love from my daughter. Exactly in the same way, a devotee understands and sees not the external situation of the scenery drawn by Prisha or by Krishna in our life. Sometimes Krishna may draw our situation or craft our situation. Externally, it can be very ugly, putting us in most of our deadliest diseases, putting us in the most of the deadliest of tragedies. But if we understand the internal purpose of the Lord to give His love to us in a way that we are not able to understand, like for me to understand the picture, there needs an explanation. Prisha herself came. I was not understanding who is Prabhuji, who is Mataji, who is Sumit and Parul and Prisha. Everyone was looking the same. It's like, the male and female and the Prabhuji, everyone was looking, Only thing that the Prabhuji had a orange color. That distinguished Prabhuji and other persons in the picture. I need an explanation needed to understand the picture. Exactly in the same way, for pure devotees, they understand the love of Krishna so much that they don't need any explanation by Krishna for the situation Krishna puts in. And for conditioned souls like us who are practicing bhakti, we need an explanation by Gurudev, because we are not able to understand that picture drawn by Krishna in our life. So for pure devotees like Chitraketu, they don't need any explanation. They are convinced of the fact that this is the best situation for my life. And for conditioned souls, we need the explanations from our Guru to help us understand how this is the best situation that I can face in my life. But whatever it is, whether we take help from Gurudev and understand every situation in our life as mercy of Krishna, or whether we behave like Chitraketu, understand it ourselves because of our purity of our devotional service, Krishna simply gets purchased by this attitude. Apitulyartha darshana. Just like my father got purchased by my mother's attitude of whether it is pizza, paneer, or panta bhat, simple rice water. Apitulyartha darshanat. Whether it is salty or less salty or chili or hot, apitulyartha darshanat. Similarly, whether it was a simple sari, whether it is a golden necklace, whether it is not a sari, whether it is a silk sari, whether it is a cotton sari, apitulyartha darshanat. My father got purchased by this attitude of mother. Similarly, if we want to purchase Krishna, the attitude that we should have in our life is, oh Krishna, if you give me the silk sari of prosperity in my life, or whether you give me the cotton sari of most dangerous adversity in my life, apitulyartha darsanat, because you have given it, O my Lord, it is the most priceless possession that I have in my life. Because Lord has given me. Lord has put me. You have put me. I don't think anything else can be better than this situation. This attitude conquers the Lord. And this is what makes us truly beautiful. Supanaka thought that her situation is not proper and she has to do a makeup, and Sita's situation is very perfect and I should forcefully become Sita to become perfect. But Sita, when Lord was embracing her in Panchavati, and when Lord rejected her and she went to Valmiki ashram, she considered both the situation at the mercy of the Lord. The conditioned souls of this world, the materialistic people of this world, they considered Sita has been abused by Lord Ram. Yes. But Mother Sita always considered Jahe vidhi rakhe Ram, tahe vidhi rahiye. She is the epitome example, the emblem of this statement. Rather, this statement fits only Mother Sita. She was happy when Lord Ram embraced her in Panchavati and Chitraketu, and she was happy when Lord Ram rejected her and put her in Valmiki ashram. But Suparnekha was not like that. Suparnekha considered that only when Lord puts me and makes me as my consort, as his consort, then I'll be in the perfect situation. So, if we want to become dear to the Lord, then let us imbibe this quality like Chitraketu Maharaj. This is actually the essence of the entire teaching of Chitraketu Leela. Narayana parasarvena kutaschana vibhyati. Let's not be afraid of any situation. Let's be fearless, be convinced nothing can happen to me because my dear Lord who loves me so much has now taken charge of my life. Nothing. Whether I am put in a most hellish situation or whether I am put in the most beautiful situation materially, nothing is going to happen to me. So this faith, this conviction, whether we have it or we borrow it from great souls, our superiors, our spiritual master, this faith and attitude conquers the Supreme Personality of God. This is the essence of all teachings of this Chitraketu Katha, that Lord Shiva is revealing to us how to become dear to the Supreme Personality of God and how to become truly beautiful, that the supreme source of beauty gets attracted not to the external makeup that we do. As a devotee, maybe putting tilak and all those things, but internalizing this attitude of, oh Lord, whatever situation you have put me, it's simply a product of your mercy and compassion. And please bless me that I always understand it in this way. With this prayer, we can actually simply conquer the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Lord Shiva actually made Parvati understand the glorious nature of the pure devotees of the Lord. And Sukadev Goswami later on speaks about how this Chitraketu Maharaj had the capacity to counter curse Mother Parvati, but he tolerated it, accepted it at Krishna's mercy, and made his life glorious. Thus ends our discussion of the life and teachings and lessons that we can derive from Chitraketu Maharaj. Sukadev Goswami says that anyone who hears this story of King Chitraketu from a devotee of the Lord and recites and remembers in the morning time, that's why we are having morning time, his entire materialistic life will come to an end and he will enter the spiritual world in this life. And next, we are going to discuss about two pastimes. And the connection of these two pastimes is given in this purport, which we are going to read from this Chitraketu Maharaj section. So, this purport is a very nice translation and purport we'll read. So, this is actually our connection to the next section of Srimad Bhagavatam that we are going to take. We'll read just the translation. This is Lord Shiva speaking to Mother Parvati. This is actually the last verse that Lord Shiva is telling. This magnanimous Chitraketu is a dear devotee of the Lord. He is equal to all living entities and is free from attachment. Just 1 minute. Hare Krishna. Am I audible? Okay. This magnanimous Chitraketu is a dear devotee of the Lord. He is equal to all living entities and is free from attachment and hatred. Similarly, I am also dear to Lord Narayan. Therefore, no one should be astonished to see the activities of the most exalted devotees of Narayan, for they are free from attachment and envy. They are always peaceful and they are equal to everyone. Purport. It is said, Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra Vigyena na bujhai. One should not be astonished to see the activities of exalted, liberated Vaishnavas. As one should not be misled by the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one should also not be misled by the activities of the devotees. Both Lord and his devotees are liberated. They are on the same platform. The only difference being the Lord is the master and the devotees are servants. Qualitatively, they are one and the same. Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshya stina priya. I envy no one, nor I am partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service to me in devotion is a friend, is in me and also a friend to him. From this statement, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is clear that the devotees of the Lord are always extremely dear to him. In effect, Lord Shiva told to Parvati, both Chitraketu and I are always very dear to the Lord. In other words, both he and I are on the same level as servants of the Lord. We are always friends, and sometimes we enjoy joking words between us. When Chitraketu loudly laughed at my behavior, he did so in friendly terms, and there was no reason to curse him. Thus, Lord Shiva tried to convince his wife Parvati that her cursing of Chitraketu was not very sensible. Here comes an important section which can be a little controversial, but we will discuss it next class elaborately. Here is the difference between male and female that exists even in the higher statuses of life. In fact, even between Lord Shiva and his wife. Lord Shiva could understand Chitraketu very nicely, but Parvati could not. Thus, even in the higher statuses of life, there is a difference between the understanding of a male and that of a female. It may be clearly said that the understanding of a woman is always inferior to the understanding of a man. Hare Krishna. In the Western countries, there is now an agitation to the effect that man and woman should be considered equal. But from this verse, it appears that woman is always less intelligent than man. Hare Krishna. It's a little bit of controversy from the... so It's nice to end with a controversy and start the next section explaining the controversy so that you all get inspired to come to the next section. So, this is an eternal controversy which all the historians and all have uh, misled the public, and how the male and female and the natures, the feminine and masculine natures. So we are going to speak two pastimes, uh, maybe parallelly or sequentially based on how we will see it. The pastime of Ajamil, which comes in the first part, first section of sixth canto, and the pastime of Diti, taking a vow to kill Indra. Ajamil, a male, and Diti, a female. So both get contaminated, and we would see that how this feminine and masculine natures are eternal, and how they can get perverted, and how male and female can never be equal. They are eternally different, not just in the body, but in the nature. So it's just a controversy. And let's start next section explaining this controversy nicely. Hare Krishna. Sri Chitraketu Katha ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So next class we'll have a japa retreat because we didn't have last month. So and maybe next to next class we will start this. And there are some devotees who have almost completed more than 13, 14, 15 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, I think in the Saturday batch. So maybe those devotees also can be requested to join Srimad Bhagavatam classes. And I think Ansuman Prabhu is the coordinator and the attendance taker of this batch, English batch. And for Hindi batch, I think Anju Mataji. So those who are connected with all of you, have completed Bhagavad Gita, want to join the Bhagavatam class, this is the nice time because a new section is getting started. So you can send their names, or you can ask them to contact Ansuman Prabhu for English and Anju Mataji for Hindi, so that their names can be entered and registered. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yes, Shalja Mataji has a question. Tarun Prabhu has a question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hari Bol, Dandavad.
Prabhuji, I have two questions.
Sorry?
Two questions I have.
You can ask one question and then you'll be given opportunity to ask second question.
Prabhuji, one question is we are discussing in every situation, whatever we are sitting, but God has we have one essential care. तो फिर वो क्या करने से भी लागू होता है कि सिर्फ डिवोटीज पे
It is applicable to everyone, but it is most applicable to devotees. Like for a person who is a materialistic person, the Lord puts him under his own karma. But even experiencing our own karma is also a mercy of the Lord. Because if someone experiences his bad karma and goes through a miserable situation, we should understand that he gets mellowed down, humbled. He starts thinking, did I do something wrong? Did I commits a mistake that I am going through like this. Then he goes to astrologers who tell that all this, no, you didn't past life, you did this, then this. So even for a materialistic person, putting himself or herself in karmic situation is also at the mercy of the Lord. Because how it is a mercy? The Lord has created a situation. If Lord would have just given punishment without creating the science of astrology, without creating how to come out of it, then we can understand that Lord is so cruel. But he just does not put us in the clutches of karma. He puts us in a situation where we can understand what was our karma because of which we are suffering. He also gives solutions to come out from our karma. Yes. So even for a karmi, even for a non-devotee, Lord puts him or her under the karmic situation. That's also the mercy of the Lord. Sometimes when Lord takes away everything from a person because he's sinful, it's a good thing. Because if he doesn't have any capacity to do anything, he will not do any sinful activities. Yes. And suffer and make others suffer.
So this is basically pure devotees understand that in whatever situation we are in, it's all the mercy of the Lord and it's all auspicious. But the Karmis will not understand the same thing. They
Yeah,
can
that's
start
what.
cursing Lord, they can start cursing the situation.
Yeah, that's what I said. For pure devotees, they themselves understand. For conditioned souls, we require the external help of scriptures. We require the external helps of Guru. We require the external help of sadhus. So Lord has provided it. Now it's our free will to whether to choose to go to a sadhu or not. The free will is there. The Lord will not interfere with our independence. We choose, and accordingly we have our course of life. The Lord will not force, now you are put in situation, you have to go to a sadhu. Not like that. He will create sadhus, he will create a situation, and he will also ensure someone giving you an advice. Maybe you can think of going to an astrologer or going to a sadhu. He will do that also. But he will not force us to do anything like that. Okay? Hare Krishna. Yes, Tarun Prabhu.
Yes, my questions are similar to what Mataji just asked. So, like for pure devotees, they understand that whatever is happening in their life is mercy of Krishna. But as we know that like how much ever a person has surrendered to Krishna, accordingly Krishna interferes in his life.
Yes.
So for condition, so then bhaktas like us, is it just a mental adjustment that we need to have that whatever is happening in our life is mercy of Krishna, or Krishna specifically arranges for us all?
So the fact is, Krishna is merciful. The fact is, the situation we are put in is uh, the best situation for us. But how much ever we are convinced of the fact ensures that how much we will understand and realize it. Just like Krishna is merciful. Krishna's merciful and compassionate nature is not based on how much I understand him and his compassion. He is anyway compassionate. He is anyway merciful to everyone. So when I surrender to the Lord, to the degree I surrender to the Lord, to that degree I understand his love. But if I don't surrender, I will not understand. But still he loves us. So yayathamam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamyaham. Krishna reveals his mercy to the degree how we surrender to him. Now definitely, more we surrender, more we are released from the clutches of karma and more we are directly put under the Lord. But we should never have a confusion that being put under karma, we are not experiencing the compassion of the Supreme Lord. The karma is a compassion of the Lord. Whether it is good karma or bad karma, it's the compassion of the Lord. Experiencing the good karma is the compassion of the Lord. Experiencing the bad karma is the compassion of the Lord. And not under the karmic situation and directly under Krishna is also the compassion and mercy of the Lord. So we may switch positions, whether to be under the Navagrahas or whether to be under the Krishna Graha. But the Navagrahas, being under Navagraha is also a mercy of the Lord. The Lord has not rejected us. Sometimes the father is so frustrated with the son. The one way is that father just leaves him out of the house. Another way is the father creates another house, creates a caretaker of that house and puts the son in that house. And there are some systems in that house, protocols that the son cannot move out of the house and the caretaker is without the permission of the caretaker. But that's also the mercy of the father, right? The son is so unruly, the father could have just rejected him and make him loiter in the streets and get exploited and abused by everyone. But the father created a house, if one sort of freedom, that instead of just letting him loiter everywhere, he made him to loiter in a closed situation with a caretaker. But that's also mercy of the Lord. So karma is actually binding the living entity within this house of the material world under a caretaker of Durga Devi, but it's the mercy of the Lord. The Lord has not rejected us. So we should see the karma and the situations also as the mercy of the Lord. We should never think, though, Abhi tum a devotee, I am not a devotee, I am just experiencing my karma. No, not like that. Experiencing our karma is also experiencing the mercy of the Lord, but experiencing it in a different house under a caretaker. The caretaker will not exploit us because Lord is in charge. Durga Devi will never exploit us. So karma is actually like that. But as we slowly become devotees, we realize our position as the servant of Lord, and we get revealed of our eternal position, and then we understand every situation and mercy of the Lord. But in every situation, whether a devotee or a non-devotee, whether karmic situation or a pure devotee, everyone is experiencing the mercy of the Lord. Even in hell, those who are suffering in hell are actually experiencing the mercy of the Lord. You know how? You see how Lord is merciful. The time flows slow in the heaven and flows slow in the hell. 99,000 yojanas, almost like 1 lakh yojanas below from earth are the hellish planets. And the soul, when he goes to the Samyayami, the Yamaloka, which is some of our acharyas are telling that it's like Pluto, which is like the supreme universal court of justice. So he gets the justice and he goes to hellish planets. But this entire process of going and getting the verdict from Yamaraj and going to hellish planets and getting the suffering, for the soul, it looks like a fraction of a second. So even the hellish planets, what we describe, like years and years and years, the experience that the soul experiences is just like fraction of a second. The time flows very fast in hellish planets. And the time flows very slow in heavenly planets, so that, oh, you want to enjoy, you enjoy. So in that way also, the Lord has created many situations like this, that we suffer less and enjoy more, even within the verdict and purview of our own karma. So even those who are under karma, we must also understand they're also experiencing the mercy of the Lord. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Yes, Kushal Vihari Prabhu. And then
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much for a wonderful class. My question is from the first part of your class, when we were discussing about Chitraketu Maharaj, how he presented what he wanted to convey to Lord Shiva. And it happens in thick relationships generally, that we start joking, especially you may say between husband and wife or two very good friend devotees. So sometimes we start expecting from both the sides, like I may start expecting that whatever is in my heart, when I am conveying in a joking manner, the devotee should understand. And it does not happen that way, as we do not sometimes present it properly. Similarly, sometimes when devotees present it from to us, that we do not realize that the intention behind whatever he or she has said is the right intention, and we only focus for the words. We only see. Many times we have argument that you should have said this. At least you should have said this. So this creates a lot of conflict in relationships. So how should we overcome actually from both of sides, that I do not expect it, everything should be expressed, I should be able to understand the intention, and similarly I should be able to be so sensitive that I focus on how I present the things.
yeah, nice question, but the the dynamics of relationship is so dynamic that there is no static answer for this dynamic question. Hare Krishna. So, relationships are so dynamic that we can really not predict what is going to happen next. And that's how it makes it so exciting, so wonderful. One way we can see is that I said something and you misunderstood it and this and that. But we can, even if your wife or someone's wife has misunderstood it, we can understand it in this way, that she is a unique soul. She understands everything differently. This concept of Mayavad is there in everything. This concept that if I joke, then he has to understand or she has to understand my joke as it is, as I understood the joke, is Mayavad. And devotional life and Krishna consciousness means he or she has the full right and freedom to understand or misunderstand all my intentions and judge or misjudge it. And this will only take us to Vrindavan Dham. Srimati Radharani completely misunderstood Krishna's intention of going from Vrindavan to increase her prema. So even Krishna, when he did it with, there can be no one in the entire creation more intimate relationship than Radha and Krishna, right? But even Radharani misunderstood Krishna's intention of trying to increase her prema through Vipralamba when he went out of Vrindavan. And even Krishna, he used to roam around like a beggar when Radharani used to become angry. And Radharani later would say, I just was angry just to see how much you love me, you know. And Krishna say, is this a human way to testify my love for you, hey Priye? So inhuman. But that's how it is. The dynamics of the relationship is always like this. And if you try to make it static, then we'll all become stones. And because we are not stones, neither we are Mayavadis, it's always going to remain like this. The fights between husband and wife are eternal. No Swami Sri Nitai Das can solve them. The fights between Radha and Krishna are eternal. The fights between the two friends are eternal. And the jokes where they love, is it also eternal? So the dynamics of relationship is that we really don't know what's going to be next. Today you tell a joke to your wife and she will be laughing, and tomorrow if she is not in a mood, she may do anything. I was talking with one couple and I was talking with the Prabhuji, and he said, how things have, and Prabhuji was telling, really things have changed. I said, yes. How do you like that your wife has changed? It's really, wife has changed. I said, what change you are expecting? Did you ever get beaten up by Mataji? And Prabhuji confessed that yes, 2 times I had got beaten up. Just imagine. These are some of the internal confessions of a husband. And the Prabhuji said, this is something which I tell every time, but I was not expecting that this time the balan will be aimed at me when I will tell this. That's how it is. It's so dynamic. You may tell the same joke to your friend whom you know nicely, and sometimes he will not mind it and he will laugh with you, and sometimes he will really mind it. And if we try to control everything, sensitivity is not trying to control the dynamics of relationship. Sensitivity doesn't mean that we make our relationship static like a Mayavadi. Sensitivity just means that we respond to the emotional change of the other party sensitively. If we think that we can act in a way that will give all the time happiness to everyone, or happy emotions will come out, we are simply in illusion. But sensitivity means that if a negative emotion has arisen in a person from a positive action from my side with a positive intention, to be sensitive means to clarify. And to be sensitive means to not repeat it again. But sometimes I have seen that people get bored. Sometimes the dynamics of relationship of especially husband and wife and friends is like that if you become too sensitive sometimes with a friend based on the past response of your friend, then the friend say, "Arey, to bahut boring ho gaya." One time I just became angry because you joked at me and you're not joking at me at all. It's so boring. Maja nahi aa raha hai tere saath. Now what do? Then you start joking again. And after 10th time, the 11th time, he's feeling again bad. And in the 11th time, he felt so bad that 3 times he didn't talk with you. 3 days he didn't talk with you. And then again, ठीक है, छोड़ो, तू तो हर वक्त जोक ही करता है, मैं हर वक्त. That's how is the dynamics of a relationship. So we should never try to make sensitivity, it should not be a weapon to make the dynamic relationship static. But sensitivity is just to ensure that we respond sensitively. And we are not overconfident in trying to criticize. Joking is fine, but criticism is completely wrong. Sometimes our joke becomes criticism. And how do we know that it has become criticism? When it is born out of comparison. So we should not try to compare and joke in a manner of comparison. That goes in a mode of criticism. But all these dynamics will always remain, even in spiritual world. Even in spiritual world, Krishna may speak something which you feel bad. Why did he speak like this? Krishna may speak. That's Vrindavan. Krishna speaks something and Radharani feels bad. Who can be a greater devotee than Radharani? And so these things, these emotions are all there in pure form in spiritual world. But Radharani will never get separated from Krishna like how we got separated from Krishna because Krishna spoke like this. No, nothing. Just that is for half a day, a fraction of hour, fraction of second. Forget it. So the dynamics of the relationship will always remain as it is and not become static by the weapon of sensitivity when we remember to forget. We remember to forget and forgive whatever situation is just leave it. It is just my friend doing it. Just my wife did it. Yes. So sensitivity should not make our relationship static. Let's experience the happiness of dynamics of the relationship with Krishna. Krishna is going to become angry with us. It's not that Krishna is merciful, so Krishna will never become angry with us. Krishna is going to become angry with us. Krishna is going to become frustrated with us. Krishna is going to embrace us. Krishna is going to kick us. All these things are available. Whatever is available with our relationship with our husband and wife is available in the most infinite, in the most special form with Krishna. Right? But the fact is, our wife and husband may leave us, but Krishna will never leave us. And Krishna has not left us as Paramatma. So that's the beauty of relationship. Relationship is not that what emotions are coming out of an interaction in a relationship. Is that whether we are taking a commitment that we are together. Whether we are fighting, we will fight, but we'll be together. We will fight. We will not stop fighting, but we will remain together. And whether we are laughing and joking, we will remain together. So that commitment is relationship. Yes? Hare Krishna. So Chitraketu's relationship with Lord Shiva didn't got hampered. That it got enhanced because of this situation. Yes, last question by Poonam Mataji, then I have to leave.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam. Thank you for the beautiful class. Prabhuji, this question I have that you said that whatever situation Krishna is putting us, like later in point of time in life we realize that, but immediately our mind says that we should do some endeavor to get out of that situation. And sometimes mind says that it is not good for spiritual progress also. That point in time, what actions should we take?
So So if our conviction is that we should endeavor for uh, getting out of the situation, and that this situation can be an hindrance to my devotional service and it's not good for me, so endeavor. Endeavoring doesn't prove that we are not surrendering to Krishna, but the result of the endeavor should not affect us. Imagine, after endeavoring, we are not able to come out of the situation. We considered it as a mercy of the Lord. But after endeavoring, we come out of the situation of the Lord. We understand that this is also mercy of the Lord. So imagine we are put in a situation. Let's say, for example, one becomes one's health gets really screwed up, is really physically ill, and endeavoring to take medicines, ausadhe chintayat Vishnu. One should remember Krishna and Vishnu while taking the medicine. So that endeavor doesn't prove that you are not a pure devotee. So when a person is taking medicines, sometimes materialistic persons, they say, Kyare, you are a devotee of the Lord. Why you are dependent on medicines? Chant Hare Krishna. So the endeavor to take the medicines, or the endeavor to work so as to come out of the financial crisis in life, or physical crisis, or any crisis, emotional crisis, is not wrong. It doesn't prove that we are not surrendered to Krishna. But post the endeavors, we may be successful, we may be having a failure. Our disposition to the success and failure proves whether we are a pure devotee or not. So it's not about endeavor. It's about what achievement we get after endeavor. If we are successful in the endeavor to take care of ourselves, we consider it's mercy of Krishna. And if we are failure, it's mercy of Krishna. In every situation, it's a mercy of Krishna. But we should never stop endeavoring. We should never think that, oh, now this situation is mercy of Krishna, just stop like that and sit down. This financial crisis, mercy of Krishna, just stop like that. No, endeavor to come out of the financial crisis. But after endeavoring to come out of the financial crisis, you may not come out. And understand, this is what Krishna wants me to live like this. And while endeavoring, the caution we should keep is that we should not reduce the basic commitments of our Krishna consciousness, like chanting 16 rounds, following the 4 regulative principles, hearing Hari Katha. Sometimes people face financial crisis and they think that I need to endeavor. But then they completely get oblivious of their spiritual commitments. That's actually dangerous. That's dangerous. So we must endeavor without neglecting our spiritual commitments, and we should respond appropriately to the result of our endeavor. That will show whether we are advancing in Krishna consciousness or not. Yes, does that answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. I am so feeling grateful that this Bhagavatam English class is so nice. So many devotees ask so nice questions and gives opportunity for nice, such wonderful discussions. So all of you, I am really grateful for taking it so seriously and attentively. Just the videos are off. That's a little bit of concern. It's just like all of you are preparing the sweet rice of your attentive hearing, but you're putting little bit of sand of switching off the videos. Just little, nothing else. Otherwise, all of you are glorious souls. And we could complete 2 sections of Srimad Bhagavatam, Chitraketu and Vitrasur, of the 6th canto. Hare Krishna. श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। वैष्णव ठाकुर की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद